Hey everybody, Dan here for Comic Frontline. It is time for another indie comic book haul. And as you can see, we got a good stack of indie comics coming to you a little earlier from the last haul, so we're going on a good schedule now. And let's get right into it with our cover story here for indie comics. Always good to see something new on in a magazine size. So this is ICC magazine. Okay, it's an independent comics magazine. Uh, Carlos Raphael, Terrence Baker, Rodney Lockett are some of the people associated with this. Um, all kind of friends of the show, you might say. And let's see. Well, the central image there is the Power Company, which is a comic coming out. And in actuality, let's see. On this haul, I have it here somewhere. Should have had that right up top. Oh yeah, this middle character. I happen to have picked up the book for that. 5 Star is the name of that character, but we'll get to that after the magazine. I read this listed for the magazine, and there are a number of articles that seemed pretty interesting for indie creators. Indie Creators Quest, Artist Spotlight on the Power Company, uh, Cracking the Diamond Code, which is talking about getting into diamond comics, pitching your comic. So a lot of good stuff about indie comics, indie creators. Figured, let me give this a shot. I also saw Pink Hammer as part of that. Terrence Baker's character that I've seen here and there making little appearances. So I was interested in that. Actually, right here on the inside cover is another thing from a past indie haul, The Cliff. There are a number of books put out by this company. Let's see. S5 Block Studios, I think it is. It's a little hard to make out the logo. I think it's S5 Block Studio, but they were on Indie Planet. I'm sure if you had looked up The Cliff, you'd see on Indie Planet, you would see this book, and then you'd be able to just hit on Indie Planet. Whenever you go to a book, they have a strip or a bar for the company, and if you click on the company, then you'll get all the books the company put out. But yeah, ICC is a group on Facebook. Actually, right now I've been involved in the ICC Clash, where they take your character and someone else's character, and it's a friendly duel as to which character is better, I guess. I'm not going to say it's just like who can win in a fight, because, they're all independent characters. My money on those fights is that whoever book the fight is occurring, that is the winner of the fight, most likely. Um, but at any rate, it's all in good fun. You get to see some artwork of some independent characters, and as I said, it looked like an interesting read. It was the first issue. It is available on Indie Planet, so I jumped right in with that. Good group of people over at ICC. I enjoy my time visiting that Facebook group. And as I said, 5 Star, picked up that book. Has a really nice cover. Let me just get in here. Tony Clapper, writer, creator, Eric Ella, pencils, inks, colors, Joe Davis, cover art, Mike Montalvo, letters. Leah Clapper and El Jefe are the editors. We always like to give you a little peek at the interior art. Nothing too spoilery. Let's get a nice action shot. There's what you can expect art-wise on the book. I think it's good art, good colors. I'll be interested to sitting down and giving this a read. Next up, okay, Tim Tyler, The Return of Blood Rain. Blood Rain came out in the 80s. It was well known as an indie hit, being that it was kind of like a gore comic with a vampire character. There he is. And it got some critical acclaim back when it was released originally through Fathom Comics, Tim's imprint at that point. And it was well known as a black and white comic that also had red in it. This book is gorgeous. Very, very high production value. Again, trying to just see a little non-spoilery. Well, he did revisit in part of this. It's a color book, but he did revisit the black and white with red that had, somewhat being his claim to fame in his original incarnation for Blood Rain. But this art and colors are just top notch. An amazing style, amazing detail. I mean, just beautiful, beautiful work. Highest recommendation. This is just kind of like a Blood Rain binder that the book came in. Nice protective type of binder. You'd order these direct from Tim's Kickstarters. Just kind of look up Tim Tyler on Kickstarter. But this is Blood Rain. I'm quite happy to see it back, included in the Kickstarter for the reward that I pledged for. Another great book that Tim has put out, Dead Crew. This is like a Dead Crew portfolio. Okay. Again, just highlighting Tim's magnificent art. Its detail is gore. I'm not going to show them all, but Tim also does fantastic female characters. I mean, just gorgeous work in art and colors. And Dead Crew was another concept that I enjoyed greatly back in the Fathom Comics days. Members are Dead Crew Super Frankenstein, 41, Dead King, Blood Rain, Devil Jack, and I guess that's Pagion or Pagion. But great, great concept. Hoping greatly that we see a story resurrected with them. So this again was my Kickstarter rewards from Tim's Rat House Comics. Okay, as I said, they start out with Fathom. He had a few companies that he had published through. Doom Theater comes to mind. The current incarnation, Rat House Comics, and again, just amazing, amazing work. Highest recommendation for that. All right. I picked up, as I've been getting all these, the DIUniverse. This is number 4. It's a bit of a handbook type book. And I'll open up a. So you get the kind of like a headshot, all the info, and some gorgeous art. A lot of these by Gilbert Monsanto, uh, known especially with his Facebook group, The Arena, where another thing where indie characters kind of square off. Uh, Beautiful, beautiful work by Gilbert throughout. We'll give you another Gilbert piece right here. Kind of a brawny female character. Rodney Lockett is the creative force behind Iron Gate Comics. See, written by Rodney Lockett and Lorenz Lano, who I've seen on the web as well. Art by Joe DeSantis, Gilbert Monsanto, Phil Cho, Jennifer Storm, Alex Day. So, again, I've been picking up all the Iron Gate books. So that includes the source book. It's a lot of reading at some point if I get to it, but always like anything Iron Gate puts out. Talking about indie companies that I follow. We got Advent Comics also. This is Advent Comics Spotlight number 3. Okay. Just various properties throughout in this one. Nice art and colors throughout this book. Okay, Tony Cottrell is the driving force behind Advent Comics. And actually one of his titles is Cosmos, which has a lot of indie characters throughout. You might even be seeing my own Argo 5 in a future issue. So I'll keep you posted about that if that comes to be. Tony Cottrell's the writer on this. Dodi Eka is the artist, and Dodi Eka is doing some great work out there for independent comics. J.E. Lozano doing the inks. Colors by Brian Magne, Rochelle LaChance. Letters by Sean DePasquale. Graphic layouts, Mike Guisinga, I think it is. Dodi Eka is a fantastic artist. Some of the art of Dodi Eka. There's Nigel Flood's Citizen, actually. Not, what am I saying? United Nationalist is that character. Citizen is from his other title. But yeah, this is from The Globalist, which was a recent Kickstarter by Nigel. But as I said, there's a lot of indie guest stars throughout this. But Dodi Eka, I just want to show you some of his fantastic work. Got an ad on the back for all the Advent titles. So Advent I've been keeping up with. And companies I've been keeping up with. Top Secret Press. Okay, this is a strange source book. So again, we have another source book type of, give you a look. This is kind of a different layout. They have those like power charts on there, probably strength and intelligence, stuff like that. But yeah, you'll get some art and you'll get like a entry as to what the character's about. This book, however, has a story in it as well. So I've been reading up on the strange, kind of a futuristic tale with some superpowered characters and kind of involved in the fact that like a corporation is trying to kind of get the superpowered characters to harness their powers for themselves. You got, again, apocalyptic type future elements, such as like part of the ocean being drained and societies being rising up within the drained parts of the ocean, stuff like that. Interesting reading, and as you can see, the art and color, pretty nice stuff. Okay, so let's see here. John Daniel Taylor the Fourth. He's the driving force behind Top Secret Press. Let's see, on this one, we have art by Francisco Minor, inks Robert Doan, Juan Albarran, story colors J. Moyano. Letters are by John Daniel Taylor IV. So, like myself, seems like John is kind of doing his own lettering. I do most of the lettering for Argo Comics. And sometimes that gives you kind of like a chance to do your own edits. Like if you're your own editor, you're kind of doing a proofreading at that point. You're kind of doing almost like a second draft when you're lettering your comic. And you can, rather than just having it full scripted, which you do have a script within the, when you're doing your comic script, you have the dialogue. But now, based on what the artist presented, since it is a collaboration, now you get to say, okay, judging by his, maybe his expression of the character kind of inspires you towards a certain direction in the dialogue, or maybe just the layout. Unfortunately, maybe there wasn't even a lot of room for words based on the art. So now you're trying to kind of minimalize the dialogue to some degree, or make it a little bit more concise so that you can fit it in within the space provided. But overall, there's some challenges you get when creating indie comics. And again, we got the Strange Top Secret Press. This is a Strange source book. Okay, and moving along. Okay, another indie company. It's been putting out some good stuff. Insane Comics. Okay, Insane Comics put out like a half-off trades sale. Okay, I have an issue of Tether. I didn't have all the issues of Tether. I had one to try it out. So the trade, 50% off. And you might say you'd be insane to pass it up. Let's see here. So Isle Squared Comics is the company. Lines, Edson Alves. Colors, Matthias Branca. Written, lettered, and edited by Chuck Amadori. Lines by Marcelo Salazar. He's done a little work for me as well. Flats by Bobby Penafiel, who also has done a little work for me. So, indie comics is sometimes a tight community where you will see certain creators, especially kind of like I'll say upper tier companies that kind of want a certain quality to the books. I mean, there's plenty of excellent artists out there, but sometimes I guess some of them post a good amount of work that captures the indie community's interest. So we all sometimes rush over to some of these people to get a little something of our own from them. Let me give you a little Tether interior art and colors. Okay, it tethers another post-apocalyptic type of story from what I gathered. And as you can see, the art and colors, lettering, everything is pretty good quality. So I haven't really read it throughout, but from what I saw, it looked like a good read. So I picked that up. And Insane Comics included a little Insane Comics bookmark with the order. So you can't beat that. Everyone loves freebies, right? All right. Southeast Comics put out Alpha. Okay, there's Alpha. Rodney Labus, creator. Mike Gallagher, artist. Mike Gallagher did Argo 5. I'm going to say number 18. So another artist who I've worked with myself, good guy. Gustavo Mendez was the colorist. John Paul Rangel did the lettering. Cover art, Tony Oscar and Gustavo Mendez. Give you a little look at Mike Gallagher's art and the colors within the interior of this book. Nice stuff, right? Right. And obviously, that's the hero of the story right here on the cover. So, yeah, looking throughout, I'd say it looked like it had good action. Okay. Mike does some nice action right in there. Whack. That's a good punch. And, vigilante type character, but I think it looked like it had its own little unique twist. And from the solicit, again, not having read it yet, it just looked like a very interesting concept. I knew Mike's art would be good. So overall, it was something that I said, let me jump in there, give it a shot. So here it is, Alpha, Southeast Comics, part of our indie review. All right. Face Value Comics, always something that I always pick up due to Sky Owens, a creator that I've been following, I guess, for like 20 years now or something. So anything that I could track down with his work, I get. Bit of a manga influence, perhaps, in Sky Owens' work, but another very talented artist and always giving us an interesting story. Let's see. I don't know if there's any further credits. I don't see any. But I do love his work. So anything Face Value Comics has been putting out, I have been getting. All right, now another creator rather that I follow unyieldingly, Sean Harrington. Okay, you see that? Mature readers. So you should know that going into this. Forces of Nature. Okay, Giant Girl and Spying with Lana. So Spying with Lana has been a series of books from Sean Harrington. I have them all. Love, love, love his airbrushed work, or his airbrushed looking work. I don't know. Not going to say it's probably computer generated, so let's not say airbrushed. Again, mature reader, but this is all stuff that you're able to see. Just a fantastic style, beautiful work throughout. Sean is a talented creator beyond reproach. Here's another Okay, and most of the stuff spying with Lana has been, basically that, a spy. Giant Girl kind of introduces a superhuman element to the story that we hadn't really seen in Spying with Lana. And I do think it really worked very well. The writing to put this story together, again, I haven't read it yet, but I have flipped through it. And I have to say that they really came up with some great creative, a great creative story and situations that made this a fantastic looking story. Okay, again, not having read it, but having flipped through it, I could tell that I'm in for a good read here. Story: Sabrina Pandora and Sean Harrington. Art by Sean Harrington. Okay, so I'm going to highly recommend this one. Again, as long as you're within mature reader parameters. But I just, all throughout, I just love, love, love Sean's work. Can't get enough of Sean's work. All right. Put out more work, Sean. I want more books. No, I'll be patient and just wait for them whenever you're putting them out. You can rest assured, though, that I will be ordering them. All right. Here's Aspyre Comics, Tales of Power #2. Okay. So I have Tales of Power #1. Took a little bit to get the next one in, but here it is. Writers Gabriel Dill Sr. and Paul Beal. Art and inks Carlo Garde. Colors Katja Luio. Lettering Josh Shelton and Blambot. Editor Gabriel Dill Sr. Cover Pino Rinaldi. Gabriel Dill Sr. being kind of the driving force on this one. He had Blue Jay, who does show up in this one. Let me see. Maybe I can kill two birds with one stone. Yeah, kill two birds with one stone. Show you some interior art and show you his Blue Jay character. There he is. I have his book and this first Tales of Power #1 that Gabriel put out. So, Aspyre Comics, I'm going to pick up what Gabriel puts out. He's a good guy. And again, you can see that he doesn't skimp on quality. Art, colors, lettering, and the writing. All some nice stuff. Okay. All right. So that is okay. Here's another one. Indie Planet. Most of these books are Indie Planet. Okay. What was that again? DIUniverse Comics. Here, The Aftermath of the Gods of Return. Okay, this one I kind of gambled a little on. I couldn't really find much on the web about what it was all about. And I'll have to say, the art and colors are decent. Here's it's an exaggerated style. Okay, but I think it works pretty well. Okay, and just being a little bit of an indie comics indie superhero team fanatic, caught enough of my interest to kind of check it out. So, not having read it yet, I don't really know exactly what to make of it. But overall, it seemed like a interesting group of characters. So I said, let me gamble on this one. And I think the production values look pretty good. It's an unusual lettering style. Some people are a bit more picky on that, as far as like, oh, I don't mind if to see a little variety in the lettering style. Um, some people want it all to look like Marvel and DC lettering. And I guess at first, if it is a different lettering style, it may like just momentarily take you out of it. But I think by page 2 or 3, I get over it pretty easily and just read the story, take it for what it is. If I have a fantastic comic that's well written, and I mean, again, I letter my own comics and I try to make it look of a professional quality. But if I had great art and a great story, and the font wasn't exactly looking like traditional font, I could usually see past that. I still want it lettered well, where I know which balloon to read next and everything's legible. But again, I don't always need the exact traditional font. Okay, Heroic Comics, Flare. I have numerous issues of this. Sometimes I can take a gamble if I know that now it's in color. So regardless if I have it or not, which I can't always run around and find out which issues I have. But I know I don't have it in color because they have just started to colorize much of their material. Heroic's been around for quite some time. Flare was around for quite some time. Now it's in color. I knew I wanted this because it was Mark Propst's art. Okay, Mark Propst. He did Southern Squadron and X-Thieves. Okay. Really, really great independent comic book artist. And his work is something that I've always looked for. And being that it's now in color, had to get this. Story, Dennis Maloney. Art, Mark Propst. Lettering, David Cody Weiss. Colors, Mike Estlick. Okay, so there is your credits for this book. There's a lot of heroic material. So, and they have put some of that out in trades. Great indie superhero stuff, worth looking up if you like. All right, we had a mature reader comic before. We have another one here in Tarot, Witch of the Black Rose. What number is this? Number 108. Okay, one of those few indie comics that hit that 100 issue milestone. Make sure that I get something that is all ages suitable, because it is a mature title. Well, Jim Balent, creator, writer, artist, cover artist. Holly Golightly, High Priestess of Production, colorist and letterist. Or letterer. There they are. Okay. Jim, well known for his run on DC's Catwoman. Again, he's been at Tarot for 108 issues. So, artwork, fantastic. Great colors. Overall, great production value. Let's make sure not getting anything that can't be shown. Okay. So, witchcraft, demons, goblins, supernatural, if any of that type of stuff appeals to you, which isn't usually, I'm not a big horror comics, except like, again, certain creators. Tim Tyler does it. Jim Balent does it. These are creators that do it so well. that I probably follow them regardless of the theme that they're working within. That's Broadsword Comics, by the way. Highly recommended. Now, we just bragged about 108 issues. Here's Gold Digger. Get my fingers out of the way for that. 250. Okay. Fred Perry's Gold Digger. Again, just an artist. This is manga style, and I like, assorted manga creators. Fred Perry and Ben Dunn, who does Ninja High School, same company, Antarctic Press. Those might be among two of my favorite manga artists. Okay. Those are the main characters. Okay, Cheetah and Gina Diggers. That's kind of a sedate page, but does still give you a sense of the style. Here's a little more action going on. Love Fred's art, colors. The whole book is just been an amazing run. I have all 250 of them. If Fred keeps making them, I will keep getting them. Silver Anniversary Edition. Great series. Here's a back issue that I kind of heard some discussion about this story on a podcast. So I just picked up a copy, I believe on Amazon. Falling for Lionheart. Okay. Is a case where a podcast kind of got me interested in seeing what it's all about. So nice looking art. Colors, I mean, this is IDW, so certain level of production value is going to be maintained. Written and drawn by Elias. Oh boy, this is going to be a hard one. Kariazis. Elias Kariarish. I can't go with that. That's a toughie. Let me just show that. I don't want to slight this guy. There it is. Okay. Lettering, Sean Lee. Pinups, Jeff Brown, Mike Diamlis, Demetrios Kazadikis, and Gabriel Pagonis. Edited by Andy Schmidt and Justin Eisinger. Okay, I think maybe it was at Andy Schmidt's podcast that I had heard about the book. So, Falling for Lionheart. Yeah, Andy Schmidt Comic Experiences, his podcast. Falling for Lionheart. Looking forward to reading that one. A couple that I had in the past indie hauls that I got to read. Four Horse Femmes. Okay. Furious Monkey Fist Productions. I've been enjoying this one a great deal. This story did not disappoint. The whole shebang, art, colors, lettering, everything's by Stuart Black. Let's give a little art demo there. It's a little bit of a different style, but it's a style I really do like. Okay, it isn't your standard, like I said, Marvel DC style. I would say you could even throw this towards a manga inspired style as well, since we were on the subject of manga. just before, but I think he's really a talented artist and a talented writer. And the fact that there's a great balance of like action and humor and just the overall story progression and pacing is very well done with the four horse femmes. Um, the characterization is very well done. Each character has a great personality to them. So this is a book that I've been enjoying. It's issue number 12. I have all 12, and I've been enjoying all 12. Um, I'm part of this web group as well in Facebook, the Creators United. So that's, I believe, where I met Stuart online and got exposed to his great book. And we'll wrap it up with this Powerverse, the action pack, another one from a previous haul. I got to read it. The teenage group. Interesting conceptually, each character. And just on design elements. I mean, this logo here, the action pack, the variety and the fonts, like this sound effects, font colors, shapes. I mean, it has to be one of the best designed books I've encountered. I mean, they really went all out, but it's not just randomly where it doesn't really work, where it's like a hodgepodge of this stuff that doesn't really work well together. This is really, let me see, where's the other, well, I mean, the art, the colors, story, everything like that is great. But again, the design elements here kind of blew me away. That's going to be courtesy of Vince White, who says they're written, lettered, and created by Vince White. They have some intro by Larry Stroman. Let's see. Larry Stroman, another great independent creator. Let's see. Cover, interior penciled and inked by Leonardo Calapitro. Leonardo Calapitro did a great job with the pencils and inks. Cover interior colors by Marco Pagnotta. Again, fantastic work. Edits, Jeff Hewitt and Matt Harrison. Prologue written by Vince White. Prologue illustrated by Larry Stroman. Okay, and I'll just again show another page here. That's Action Pack, another book available on Indie Planet. Okay, Indie Planet. You can just go check out all the great independent comics throughout that, including my own Argo Comics are in there. And I love Indie Planet and the fact that there are so many high quality independent comics. I am not, unfortunately, it's tough to buy from indie creators who are all selling their own books, and then you're paying separate shipping for all these books. By going to Indie Planet, I can find, like, keeping my shopping cart open for a couple of weeks, find a good number of books, and then combine shipping, which really is a great asset in independent comics, where I'm not paying, each creator $5 to $10 to send me their book. So again, Action Pack, that's over on Indie Planet. And that's going to wrap it up for this Indie Comics review. Always welcome your questions and comments. Again, you can check out my own comics, Argo Comics. I have Argo 5 issue 25 at the printer right now. So quite far away from our pals there with 108 issues, 250 issues, but 25 issues in the independent comics community. Uh, Kind of a milestone for myself. Really looking forward to that. I did have a successful Kickstarter with Argo 5. That is at the printer. I'm hoping to see some people post their pictures that they have gotten theirs. Um, really enjoyed putting that together. We'll have another Kickstarter for Volume 2. But for any other further independent comics that I'll be getting, you'll have to tune into the next Indie Comics haul. And this is Dan signing off for Comic Frontline.